Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. Ripple, Barclays, and other investors have backed a $1.7 million round for SendFriend, a new remittance startup that will use the XRP cryptocurrency to move funds internationally. Announcing the news on Monday, the New York-based firm said that the Mastercard Foundation, the MIT Media Lab, Techstars, Mahindra Finance, 2020 Ventures, and 8 Decimal Capital also participated in the round. Barclays took part via its Barclays powered by Techstars accelerator program, into which SendFriend will be accepted or was accepted last September. The money raised will go towards hiring staff as well as focusing on community engagement and marketing, said SendFriend co-founder and chief executive officer David Light, and I think I was reading the T here. Anyway, SendFriend, which said it was founded at MIT, aims to serve overseas workers from the Philippines using XRP and Ripple's XRapid product for cross-border settlements. The firm explained how it will work, saying, and I do quote, XRP is used as a liquidity vehicle for cross-border payments, enabling SendFriend to circumvent the corresponding banking system and convert USD to XRP to PHP, the Philippine peso, in a matter of seconds. Not yet live, SendFriend said it plans to launch in New Jersey soon, but will also be available in other US states via desktop and mobile apps. Ripple confirmed that SendFriend will leverage the XRP token in a release last week. Lighton said at the time the existing corresponding banking system is slow, inefficient, and costly. Very good news that we have. I like that we are finally hearing about XRapid and XRP/XRP partnerships, things, because for a very long time the Ripple team was very hush-hush with everything. It's also interesting to note, and this is where I tell everyone to make sure to keep, I guess, your ears, into a lesser or larger extent, your eyes as well open. We have a situation where there is something that's happening that's going to be using XRP called SendFriend, using the token. But look at the name of the partners, the Mastercard Foundation and also Barclays, who are also part of this funding round. We may not have explicit word that Ripple is partnered with these people, but they've been around for so long that I'm pretty sure they have some type of partnerships in the wings. And I feel like, to a lesser extent or to some sort of extent, whenever we have things like this kind of being launched, something like SendFriend, I think it's because larger investors want to get into the cryptocurrency space, but I feel like they're still a little afraid. It's still too new. They really don't have any idea what's kind of going on, which is really interesting because we have something like that to talk about a bit later on. So I feel like this is their way of dropping some coins into the bucket to say that they are participating, so that they want to see if this actually ends up going well, because 1.7 million spread across around 5, 6, 7, 8 different companies isn't a lot for them. And if it does end up doing well, I feel like these things will then catch on to their side. And this is where we get these situations where they then announce, hey, we're also going to be integrating this because we've seen how great that it has worked for SendFriend, especially if SendFriend ends up making more profits than they do or could potentially do over the course of certain quarters. But anyway, let's move on. I thought this one was very interesting. This is, okay, at least for me, I thought it was kind of cool. Bitcoin billionaire, his name is Sao Dong, one of the biggest over-the-counter traders, has some investment advice for Bitcoin enthusiasts. Although he doesn't see the crypto winter ending anytime soon, he says that this is the perfect time to stock up on cryptocurrencies. Cao is a highly influential member of the Bitcoin community and owns a large stake in Bitfinex, a high-volume cryptocurrency exchange used by professionals and experienced traders. Many in the cryptocurrency space regard Cao as prominent, as he remains active in the community with posts on social media, speeches at conferences, podcasts, and more. When someone as notable as Cao makes a prediction, people often listen and take it seriously. Towards the end of 2018, he said, "In the bull market, I don't persuade people to buy Bitcoin because it seems easy to make money, but in fact, it's not. Now I start to talk people into buying Bitcoin. Those who make truckloads of money do not have a very short-term, speculative-driven investment mindset. Perhaps Bitcoin price will continue to drop even lower, and it may fall up to 50%, but it is still worth steadily acquiring coins every time it hits a new low. You possibly see a yield of 100 to 200% in the next 3 years. He said this a couple of months ago. Keep that in mind. Now, on a WeChat group called the Public Chain Alliance, crossing the Bulls and Bears elite team. Why would you make the name so long? He said that people won't care much for Bitcoin till the prices have reached tens of thousands. He said, for most people, if they don't pay attention to Bitcoin now, they won't pay attention to Bitcoin for most of the time. So for them, only how many tens of thousands of Bitcoin will break them will be noticed again. If you and I believe in the future of Bitcoin, so it is best to hold as much as possible when nobody cares. I can only assume that English is not his first language, so give him a break on the wording of it. This is something that I've mentioned many times before, and this is why I mentioned and I said at least 68 times, random number, probably correct. People who are in the cryptocurrency space right now, or rather people who are accumulating right now, not financial advice, just I mentioned before about accumulating when the markets are down. It seems almost unreal that people, and I don't know what it is, at least a large number of people who are getting into investing, trying to get into the cryptocurrency space, or even people who are traditional financial people who even like during the 2008 stock market crash, when the stock market crashed in 2008, there were so many major companies who were accumulating stock like never before as the prices were at all-time lows. They were buying it up and everybody was like, why are you buying it? The whole market's crashed. These are now some of the richest people and the richest companies in the entire world. For some reason, a lot of people don't understand that when the markets are down and like when they're really beaten and bloody and like they're like completely like a mess sitting next to you, that this is the time when you have to start investing into them. I mentioned, I'm pretty sure some of you, at least a handful of you should remember, I mentioned before in one of my other videos, I said, we're going to get to a situation, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, middle of this year, end of this year, 2020, who knows what the time frame is going to be, but the people who are ignoring you right now, who don't really care, I see so many people in the comment section talking about that their friends and family don't really pay attention to them when they talk about cryptocurrencies. People walk out of the room. Their flatmates might laugh at them. Their coworkers kind of chuckle when they hear them talking about it and they go, oh, you're still into that? People won't care because they don't understand the underlying value of being able to send money and value across seas in a matter of seconds, even if what have you, Bitcoin slowness, you understand exactly what I'm saying. For some reason, there was a situation where no one cared about Bitcoin or Bitcoin's price, or rather the larger public did not care until Bitcoin passed by $10,000. And I have a very strong feeling that where we are right now, no one's going to care about Bitcoin. I think we'll get some people when we cross by 10,000. But a lot of people's ears will start to perk up around like 20, 25,000. Like hitting an all-time high of where we were before won't really mean a lot to a lot of people. They'll think, oh, that's kind of cool. Well, Bitcoin's still going to fail because they don't really understand all the news that we've been reading. Last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. You know exactly where this space is going. I know exactly where this space is going. So just get ready because I think it's going to be very... bittersweet. No, it's going to be pretty sweet for us, but it's going to be very interesting when you get the people asking you how to get into cryptocurrency or even how to get into Bitcoin, because everyone knows the name Bitcoin. By the time Bitcoin's price is around $30,000, $40,000 and they try to figure out how to own an entire Bitcoin, that's going to be one of the greatest moments ever. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know what it is. People don't think of accumulating when prices are low. I think that they think that prices are either going to continue to drop or that it's simply not worth it. And I know that sounds completely insane, but think of other times before. Maybe it could have been you, could have been your friends, could have been other investors where you know that prices are low, you know that something is a good buy, but you don't start buying until the price starts going up, and then you FOMO into the market. This happens so often, and so many people do it. It's very, very weird. This is why I myself personally, I just accumulate kind of on the way down. It's not even cost averaging. It's just like, I know this is going to go back up. I understand where the space is going. And I mean, especially when prices are depressed as they are right now, I just kind of keep buying. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's nice to hear someone else finally saying it out loud, because so many people have been talking about don't accumulate until Bitcoin hits 2,200. Bitcoin's going to hit 1,700. And this is when you buy. And it's like, yeah, if you're giving millions of people the same exact device, they're all going to try and jump in at the exact same price. And then the price is going to jump up even higher than where it was before, or even where it's been sitting right now. The price has been going sideways for how long, and so few people are buying into it. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, so I thought I'd chat about it for a couple of seconds. Let's move on. Next up, Binance is in the news. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance will launch a testnet version of its new decentralized exchange on the 20th of February. This was said by Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of, almost said CEO of Twitter, CEO of Binance. He said this yesterday. Binance Decentralized Exchange, plans for its first, of which first emerged last year, aims to provide a decentralized basis for cryptocurrency holders to trade tokens, remove liability and security hurdles associated with traditional centralized platforms. The testnet release will be public, which Zhao requesting feedback from users in the same tweet. The date follows previous announcement with more details about Binance, which will include support for cryptocurrency hardware wallets. This feature, Zhao said earlier this month, will allow users to trade while retaining control over their private keys. So this is very, no word on exactly how many people, I want to say, will be able to test it. And kind of, they typically, when there's like a test net or like a beta situation, you kind of allow, like 1,000, 2,000, maybe 4,000 people into the whatever you're trying to test to see if it actually can handle them. I want to say, so we have exactly a week until the testnet launches. I want to say I'm hoping March, end of March. I think he said Q1 for this to actually end up launching. Very excited for this. I've already seen people opposing another decentralized exchange or a Binance decentralized exchange. I don't know why everyone opposes everything that's brand new, especially when most people are probably going to be using the Binance decentralized exchange, especially as the course of 2019 continues on. Anyway, this is kind of cool. Once again, like clapping for Binance, who says that they're going to do something, they end up doing it, and they don't take a year and a half to actually launch anything. They talk about it when it's going to come out a couple weeks later, and then lo and behold, it actually does end up coming out. Let's move on. Oh, so yeah, here's exactly what I was talking about with institutions not really understanding what's happening with crypto. Swedish Bitcoin exchange traded note or ETN operator known as XBT provider has shelved plans to offer altcoin products due to market volatility. This was said by Bloomberg. That was today. Speaking to the publication, XBT's CEO, Laurent Kissis, revealed the company did not have an understanding of Bitcoin hard forks and related phenomena when Swedish regulators greenlighted its plans in 2018. XBT launched the world's first regulated Bitcoin tracker called Bitcoin Tracker 1 in 2015 and has since added several related products. According to Kissis, XBT needs to better its knowledge about hard forks and community politics in order to avoid listing a coin which would soon fall out of favor or disintegrate altogether. He said it's important to ask how the community is responding to the split and who's going to support one asset versus the other. He said if we get it wrong, these assets will drop, and if they're part of the basket, we can't go back because it's in the final term sheet. For those who have no idea what is happening right here, I understand wanting to make money, and this is why I always implore you to do your own research. I know I sound like a broken record. I could care less at this point. My job is to make you understand that you have to understand where you have your money. This is why I'm here. They got into cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin Tracker 1, 2015. They recently announced to Bloomberg, who's a major financial institution, that they had no idea what a Bitcoin hard fork was, and I can only imagine what else they really don't understand about the rest of the cryptocurrency space. It's clear that they were in it just for the money. Get it, got it, good. But this is where you end up losing money, because imagine a situation where they got exposed to Bitcoin hard forks. They announced that they were part of the entire fund that they were going to launch, that they were going to have, and they simply assumed that every single Bitcoin hard fork, because it has a name of Bitcoin attached to it, that these are going to be the newest, greatest, coolest coins, and everyone's going to start buying them, and these are going to be the next big thing, and people are going to dump all their money into them. And then imagine a situation where they had Bitcoin Cash SV, and Bitcoin Gold, and Bitcoin Private, and Bitcoin Diamond, and Bitcoin Red, and Bitcoin Yellow, and Bitcoin Green, all inside of their portfolio, and then all of these coins simply disappear. What then happens to your portfolio as you've been buying more of these coins, betting on them because they have the name Bitcoin? Your fund collapses. It's nice to hear that they admitted their potentially costly mistake, which could have cost them a lot of money into the future. When you get into the cryptocurrency space, if you have any friends or family members who even feign interest, they kind of, oh yeah, that sounds kind of cool, can you teach me a little bit? Just kind of throw websites at them, throw videos at them, let them learn and absorb as much as possible. Whenever I meet people who tell me, I have a really interesting thing right now where when I meet people or when people kind of figure out what I do, and I try to make sure to let everyone know exactly, you have to do your own research. It's not something, this is not, and I'm glad that 2018 happened because this is not a get rich quick scheme. You have to understand at least the basics of where you're putting your money. Understand what a blockchain is, what a hard fork is, what can happen during a hard fork, what a soft fork is, what proof of stake is, proof of work, delegated proof of stake. You have to know at least the basics for all of these things. I am certain they are not the only cryptocurrency company or exchange traded note operator provider in this world who has launched something attached to the name of Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or XRP, and they have no idea what they're trading. They just think it's the new coolest, hottest thing on the block. They're trying to make money from it, and they're potentially probably adding a whole bunch of forks and stuff like that to their products. And people who are actually invested into these things because it has the name Bitcoin attached to it, they're going to get burned, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of situations where people are talking about, you made me lose my money because you didn't really know what you were doing. Always, 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 always do your own research so you don't get into situations like this. Do not. I implore you, research now. Do it. Next up, I thought this one was interesting as well. A prominent digital asset firm has revealed it successfully closed a $40 million blockchain-specific venture capital fund, thanks largely to contributions made by two public pensions, Morgan Creek Digital, I was reading it backwards, a hedge fund backed by institutional powerhouse Morgan Creek Capital, has launched what it calls the Morgan Creek Blockchain Opportunities Fund, geared entirely towards investing in the digital asset industry. In March of last year, Morgan Creek Digital was reported to have had over $1 billion worth of assets under management. Most notably, the two largest contributors to the new investment pool are public pension funds, specifically the Fairfax County Police and Fairfax County Employees Pensions Plans. It was originally pegged to raise $25 million, but due to investor interest, it almost capped it, double it to $40 million. The new fund also includes participation from a hospital system, a private foundation, an insurance company, and university endowment. One might have seen this coming. I did. Rumors of public pension funds and endowments becoming comfortable enough to invest in the digital market have been spinning since CNBC declared 2018 would mark their arrival in April of last year. We have entered. Finally, I've been waiting. This may not seem significant to a lot of people because I learned a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people don't save money and a lot of people don't really care about their pensions or their 401k or any type of retirement fund. That kind of drives me insane. It actually makes my skin itch. When people don't save money for the future, it drives me absolutely nuts. What we've been waiting for, and this is where, it may be one of the most boring news things that you've heard about in quite a long amount of time. People are definitely shaking their heads like, yep, this is very boring. No, it's not, because we now have a situation. First of all, how do I put this lightly? A lot of countries are breaking down economically. The world as we know it right now is we're in a very special situation, and this is a situation that we should actually all be happy about, because what's happening with the world right now and what's happening with medicine is that people are living a lot longer. People are going to continue to live a lot longer. It's expected that children who are being born right now have an average life expectancy of 100 years old because of the medicine that they will have over the next 20 to 30 years that will be developed that will allow them to live much, much longer lives. people aren't retiring. When I was younger, I remember the retirement age was 62. It's now pushing around like 67 in most countries. By the time I, air quotes, am supposed to be old enough to be able to, retire, what have you, the retirement age is expected to be pushing in the 70s, upper 70s. So this is why crypto is very, very important. We will not have any other opportunities like this within our lifetime to make an enormous amount of money like we could potentially make from cryptocurrencies. And I promise you, I will definitely do this when crypto does completely explode, whether it be this year or next year, whenever we have at some point. And if I forget this, please remind me. When we have a $100,000 Bitcoin, remind me to make a video on exactly how to invest in other things besides crypto. That is just to say, to be able to diversify, but to make sure that I give you information onto exactly where to put your money so that you can retire, don't ever have to work again. And yeah, you kind of get exactly where I'm going with that. But, we still have time for that exact video to happen. The point is, the situation that we have in a lot of countries right now is that governments are running out of money. And the way that retirement funds or other things, especially with pensions and stuff like that, are working out right now, especially in the United States. I can say that because I was born in the United States and I pay attention to still some of the economic situations that are happening there, and I pay attention to those happening in Europe as well. When it comes to retirement funds and things that aid those who are older in their years of retirement, it comes down to younger people needing to work, and they pay into certain retirement funds that then help to pay for the older people. The way that a lot of people think about it is that if you are young, let's say you're 20 and you're putting money into a retirement fund, this money is kind of only for you. When you get older, you can have a go at the stash of money that you actually saved. It's actually you're paying for the older people who are living right now. But the situation that we have in the world is that people are going to be living a lot older. I'm not going to even get into some of the more crazy specifics because I watch a lot of scientific and tech journals and stuff like that, and the stuff that we're going to have within the next 20 years is going to blow people's minds. The point is, what we were waiting for is retirement funds to get into the cryptocurrency space, because if you heard everything that I just said, as people continue to get older and older and older, more money is going to start to be allocated to older people who are getting ready for retirement or who are worrying about getting money when they actually do retire. So this number is expected to continue to go by the hundreds of millions of people over the next couple decades, because more people will be living longer, more people will be trying to get ready for retirement, more people will be what have you. You understand? So when we have major names who are getting into the cryptocurrency space, or even smaller things, or people just allocating their money to be able to buy up cryptocurrency, it shows, I can't even put this into proper words. It shows a lack of faith in the normal pensions and the normal funds and the normal government held bonds that are out there, which is, they're all completely crumbling. They offer horrible returns. And the more money that we can get from people, if we get it, so this is a lot crazier than I thought it was going to be. I expect it to kind of breeze over this one. What's going to end up happening is that as the cryptocurrencies, as we get more major institutions, especially as we get more universities who are actually putting their money into cryptocurrencies, when they start making more money, other people are going to start dumping their money into other funds like this as well, because they're going to see that the long-term prospects of being able to put your money into cryptocurrency and making insane amounts of money in a relatively short amount of time. Because typically, if you're expected to, from the moment you turn 18 or 16, depending on where you live, and you start working, you're expected to put money away constantly until you turn, right now it's 67, soon it's going to be around 73, 74, 75 years old. You're supposed to work your entire life to be able to just have enough money so that when you retire, you have enough for your food, you have enough for your light and gas and your heat and your rent and your health insurance. And then that's it. Typically, if you watch documentaries right now with people who are retiring right now, who have saved their entire lives, they just have enough money. So when we get into a situation where, as opposed to making 1%, 2%, 3% on these government held bonds and other, government pension funds, where you can make 15, 25, 35, 125, 18,000% over the course of 1 year during one bull run, you have already outperformed everything else that you could have possibly put your money into. It's just I have to move on from this because it could actually continue going on forever. The retirement system that we have around the world, they're completely collapsing. When I mention diversifying where you put your money, investing in real estate, investing in so-and-so, things that you can buy that will continue to make you money, I mean this wholeheartedly. I don't mean it to sound like a prude. I don't mean it to sound like some guy who's just not into Lambos and stuff like that. I mean, the amount of people I heard talking about when they get their money from cryptocurrencies who are going to find a hot girlfriend and buy a Lambo, it makes me sick to my stomach because, first of all, if you plan on dropping around $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on a car, as opposed to buying 5 properties that'll make you money for the rest of your life, that'll continue to go up in value and that you can raise the rent on every single year, you are not in the right space. You should not probably be into cryptocurrencies. I can't stress how important this actually is, that we now have pension funds and universities who are actually putting money into cryptocurrencies, because it shows a maturation of the cryptocurrency space, but it also shows, I guess, a belief system that sounds too cheesy, but it's exactly what it is. The more companies and institutions that we can get putting their money into cryptocurrencies, it just shows exactly how much further that the space is going to go, because during a bull run, all these other pensions who are like, yeah, we got, 1,700% over the last 2 years from having our money in these 5 cryptocurrencies, and everyone else is going to be like, well, ours performed a good 9% over the last 3 years. What do you have your money in? And it's kind of starts the ball rolling, as it were. I think it's incredibly interesting. I find the idea of one side income, not having to work until you're 70. That enough should be like a huge light bulb going off in your head. But let's move on. Next up, Ethereum is in the news. What is he sitting on? It's like floating. The Ethereum transaction count is retreating to levels not seen since the fall of 2017 as interest in the digital assets continues to drop. Additionally, distributed apps, or dApps, should be decentralized apps, that's kind of weird, which only have a handful of users, sometimes record zero activity. The low transaction count follows a serious stagnation in ICOs due to tightened regulations. As for dApps, in the case of Polymath, users suddenly disappeared in November, with zero activity registered since then. Projects like Algor have had between 30 and 50 users per day in recent weeks. Ethereum daily transactions have fallen to about 470,000 in 24 hours, down from a peak of 1.34 million. The slowdown in network usage has affected most assets, but while Bitcoin has seen a pickup in transactions, Ethereum transfers are falling precipitously. However, a revival in activity could be coming as another round of, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Oh gosh, please don't do this. FOMO 3D betting game gains speed. FOMO 3D and similar games are among the biggest gas burners, counting on incentives to keep people playing and using Ethereum. I'm not going to even... not even do your own research, just don't do this. FOMO 3D is a game that we spoke about, it was like last April or something like that. My goodness, I forgot that this existed. It's a cryptocurrency game on Ethereum. It's not even a game. It's pretty much you put money into the system, and if you're the last person to put money into it, you get like a huge payout. It says like 14,000 Ethereum. But part of the issue is that other people will obviously come behind you and put money into the system, hoping that they're the last one. And the logic is that you will probably never be the last one, because you're always waiting for, I think it's like a 24-hour timer or something like that. And this is why it's called FOMO. Because everyone has this fear of missing out. I stopped paying attention to it. Like I saw it. I think I kept track of it for like a week, and I saw people like dumping huge amounts of money in Ethereum inside of this. That got the transaction volume for Ethereum to completely spike, because so many people were dumping their money into this. And when I say I don't give financial advice, or like I'm not a professional financial advisor, I tell you, do not do this. Do not lose your money, because you are going to lose money. You are not going to be the last person to put money into this, because there are going to be thousands of people who are going to be dumping their money and losing their money. And when the point is, Ethereum is slowing down, is lagging. I'm hoping that Constantinople will kind of reverse this. It's really insane, and I assume it's two things. It's about three things. It's the bear market, which I can totally understand is, slowing things down. Got it. It's also, we spoke about this just yesterday, it's lack of advertisement. Algor was like one of the most popular dApps things on top of Ethereum for like quite a couple of months. It was very, very popular. But their website looked horrible. I'm not sure if they fixed it since then. It looked like, remember those websites from like 1997? It looked atrocious. So many of these places, they don't hire beautifiers isn't the word. What am I looking for? Nice maker lookers, whoever makes the websites, designers, website designers, beautifiers. The point is, you may not think that it has nothing to do with it, but look at, when you open your phone and you look at the apps that you have on your phone, you may not realize it, but you've downloaded a lot of these things because they appeal to your eyes. You like looking at them. Like, this is far more appealing color-wise than this color over here. Like, it does absolutely nothing to you. The point is, overall, Ethereum hopefully will get it together. Hopefully they will have a marketing team who kind of, it's just kind of weird at this point. I know that they'll pick it back up, but they seem to be falling a lot quicker than many other coins. Even like a lot of their, like the other Ethereum rivals are also doing fairly okay when it comes to like daily transactions, because everyone has moved their games from Ethereum onto these other platforms. And they're gambling games, so there's going to be tons of transactions, but it's still, it's showing blockchain usage. So Ethereum just has to kind of get it together, and then I think it'll be a bit better for everyone using that system. To kind of finish things off, for those who don't know who Craig Wright is, Craig Wright is someone who claimed was that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, meaning the creator of Bitcoin. He now has claimed that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, and he's been going on a tirade the last couple of days. I actually hope that he continues, because it makes him look like a madman, and it lowers the case for anyone ever wanting to do work with him. He's also the creator of the latest hard fork of a fork from Bitcoin Cash, where he created Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision, which I said was really funny, because if you're Satoshi, why would you name something Satoshi's Vision? Like, you would name the coin like Bitcoin My Vision or something like that, not Satoshi's Vision. He claimed for a very long time, and this is part of the problem, is that everyone can kind of just claim it. I'll do it. I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. Everyone for some reason keeps saying this over and over, that they're Satoshi. And the problem is that when you can't really fact check any of these things that are going on, people start following you. And when people start following you, they allow you to create coins like Bitcoin Cash SV and throw their money into it when coins like that don't really need to exist. So now he now says that he was Satoshi. I'm not exactly sure how he created Bitcoin and then no longer created Bitcoin. That's kind of weird. I don't have the tabs open here, but if you can find it easily on the internet. He's been streaming at everyone the last like 3 or 4 weeks. A lot of people have been asking him questions, like very basic questions about what's going on, and he completely goes off on them. On that same exact note, there is now another Bitcoin Cash developer who now says that he is also Satoshi Nakamoto. There should be a website for all the people who have claimed that they're Satoshi. It has to be at least 16 people at this point. It's widely believed that Satoshi Nakamoto is not just one person, that it's probably a group of anywhere from 5 to 7 people put their brains together. It's believed to actually be a group of cypherpunks who created digital currencies in the late 90s and early 2000s. It is believed that they not broke apart, but they, people get older, people move on, and maybe at some point they came back together to create something that ended up becoming Bitcoin. It's firmly believed that it's a group of people, not just one person. So whenever one person ends up coming forward and people ask them for proof, they usually cannot provide proof, and that is they need the private keys to the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet, which has over 1 million Bitcoin inside of it, and for some reason that people continue to send money to. It's all very weird. The point is, we now have 2 new people claiming to be Satoshi. I don't think we're ever going to figure out who this persons are, simply because I was listening. So they were talking about something on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it made so much sense. They said this person's probably never going to come forward because it's kind of like the whole mystery around like Banksy. Not knowing who someone is raises their like artistic value or so and so. I guess if we don't know the creator of this potential new world currency, it kind of leaves a shrouded mystery around it that causes more people to kind of get into it. But the other hand is that the moment that people would know, this person would also kind of be hunted down by the government. I mean, we've seen, for those who don't know, the original, apparently, so they say, purpose of PayPal was to create a free-flowing form of money that wasn't under the direct jurisdiction of governments around the world, that people could use on their own accord how they wanted. Governments figured this out. They strangled it, and now this is why we have the PayPal that we have. So there were other things. So the long story short is that if the government ever figures out who this is, they're going to come for them, like hard. You created a currency that is now being used all around the world that transacted like over $1 trillion last year alone, and you kind of have to answer questions for why you created this and so on and so forth. We're never going to figure out who Satoshi is. I think it's nice to have a little bit of mystery, but it would be kind of nice if people, especially people who keep forking forks, if they could stop claiming to be Satoshi. Would be nice. Prices at the moment aren't doing too bad. We're still doing this little weird sideways trend thing. One of the coins, yeah, there we go. EOS is up a little tiny bit. Not too bad over the last hour. No real news at all why it popped up in price. I was reading somewhere that people were saying that EOS got tired of Litecoin being in the 4th position. I would, at this point, I would actually love, what I would love? I would love if Tron pushed out Bitcoin Cash. I would love if Stellar and Binance Coin also pushed Bitcoin Cash and Tether, further to the bottom. And I would love a race between Litecoin, Tron, Stellar, and Binance Coin to try and get to the number 3 and number 4 spot. I think that'd be kind of cool. No, number 3 spot. I want to see, I'm at that point right now where I'm like almost like one of those, like a crypto gladiator. Like I want to see everybody like fight in the streets, because I mean, according to the gossip, in 2018 we were supposed to have seen all these other coins take over Ethereum and XRP's places. They're still there. And also remember Mr. Roger Ver talking about that by the end of 2018 no one would call Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin Cash anymore. It would simply be known as Bitcoin because it would be in the number 1 spot. Didn't happen, not going to happen, but I would like to see it try. I think that would be, you know how much Bitcoin Cash would have to go up to even think about touching Bitcoin's market cap. Anyway, methinks that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of your support. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Vlad the Impaler, Gil Boa Snake, Rai, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Arthur Yaku, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Nick Mangialavori, Travis Haynes, Gordon Nikic, Yasha Harari, Anthony Charles, and Nick Kanaya. Thank you all very, very much for your generosity. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.